year 2023 was an exciting period for Xanadu Mines and its investors, with the share price increasing by more than 50%. Today, we are delighted to invite Colin Moorhead, the chairman of Xanadu Mines, to provide us with further updates about the company. Good afternoon, Colin. Thank you for joining us today.
Good afternoon, Hannah. Thanks for having me.
With Xanadu's share price having increased by more than 50% last year, in your opinion, what has driven this performance? Please summarize the milestones achieved by Xanadu Mine last year.
Sure. 2023 was a very exciting year for Xanadu. We finalised our deal with Zijin, and we're very honoured to have Zijin as our partner in developing the Kharmagtai project. We visited site in March and cut the ribbon with our colleagues from Zijin, and since then our pre-feasibility study has been going at full noise and progressing very well. And that included completing our drill out of the planned open pit sections of the resource, and upgrading the resource and publishing an updated resource which was significantly larger than the previous resource, and putting that into the project. We also had a great year in getting exploration started at Kharmagtai.
How is Kharmagtai discovery exploration drilling progressing? What do you see as the best opportunity for both material growth and higher grade ore feed?
Sure. Well, we've been drilling both shallow and deep targets. The shallow targets are designed to extend the known resource laterally, looking for additional open pits for the project. And our deep drilling is targeting what we see to be as potential game-changing, large, higher grade underground potential deposits. We've done a couple of deep holes with good success, and we hope to be able to make some releases about that soon. And in shallow targets specifically, we were able to find some new porphyry clusters that extend the resource. So all the shallow drillings effectively got two aims. One is to find new resources. The other is to sterilise ground for our infrastructure so that we can make well-informed decisions about where to put permanent infrastructure.
Thank you. As you just mentioned the new Kharmagtai mineral resource, could you please provide a detailed overview of the new Kharmagtai mineral resource?
Well, I think the summary is it's bigger, but it's also better. So we've grown the resource by approximately 15% to 1.3 billion tonnes at similar grades overall, and grown our high grade component, which was previously 100 million tonnes at 0.75% copper equivalent, to more than 125 million tonnes. And I think that growth has happened where it matters. We've seen high grade zones at Stockwork Hill extend closer to the surface, which will obviously have an impact on the pit optimisations. And we've seen we've often expected to see a high grade core at White Hill, and we think we're seeing that at depth at White Hill now, and that is a tantalising target for the future.
So could you please quantify how earning value will be added with 25% lift in higher grade zone of MRE?
Well, it's a bit hard to quantify, but the model has been given to our consultants, Whittle Consulting, who will do the strategic pit shell optimisation and strategic scheduling of the resource before we hand it to our mining engineers. And based on what I'm seeing, I would expect us to be bringing grade earlier into the schedule, and therefore helping with that initial payback period. We'll have that work done in the first quarter of 2024, and hopefully I'll be able to make some more quantified statements about it then.
Well, so how will the new MRE impact pit design including PFS production schedules and cost estimations?
So what we're seeing is the high-grade zones growing, and particularly at Stockwork Hill closer to the surface. So as I said, that will bring revenue forward. We're also seeing ore where we previously had waste. So I would say that'll lead to larger pits in general and higher grade earlier, all of which adds value to the production schedule.
What mining and processing throughput options are you assessing?
Okay, so the mining at the moment has been restricted to open pit mining. It'll be large scale open pit mining, which I'm very familiar with. Our base case in the scoping study was truck and shovel, common vanilla diesel fired trucks and shovels. But we're putting a lot of effort into electric haulage systems to both reduce the mining cost, which is a major cost driver for the project, and to reduce our carbon footprint, of course. So we're looking at systems such as trolley assist and in-pit crush and convey as ways to achieve a more efficient mining outcome. We do see deeper mineralisation, which may be amenable to block caving in the future, but that's one for the future and not part of the current scope. In fact, in terms of ore processing, it's a large comminution circuit, initially at 15 million tonnes per annum and then going to 30 million tonnes per annum, or to use the American terminology, 40,000 tonnes per day to 80,000 tonnes per day. Comminution followed by flash float gravity and then flotation. So we'll produce a gold-rich copper concentrate and potentially some gold doré from gravity.
Thank you. Could you please run us through progress on Xanadu's 3 horizon strategy, including your key goals for 2024?
Sure. Well, Horizon 1 is the pre-feasibility study and getting that done on time and on budget. And that's very much on track. We've completed all of the data acquisition and the modelling, and we're now feeding that into the process and mining engineering designs. So by the middle of this year, we hope to have a single go-forward case landed. And we hope to be able to talk about that publicly in the third quarter. Horizon 2 is really about exploring at Kharmagtai and Red Mountain. At Kharmagtai, we've still got rigs operating, and we're particularly interested in the deep targets and what they could potentially mean to the project. And that will continue. At Red Mountain, we're looking to commence drilling there in the spring, the Mongolian spring. So March, April, it's a bit cold in the middle of winter at the moment. So that's Horizon 2. Horizon 3 is all about adding projects to our portfolio, and it's been a major focus for our VP Exploration, Andy Stewart, and the team in Mongolia. They've looked at lots of projects. We really love the jurisdiction and the prospectivity, and we hope to be able to say something about that in the near future.
Yeah. And so what are your key goals for 2024? Or maybe I say this way, what key milestones should investors be looking forward to during the first half of 2024?
Okay, so in the first half of the year, we'll be focused on exploration in the spring. So in the spring, you'll see us start to explore in Red Mountain, and hopefully we'll be on the ground there in the first half of 2024. In terms of the project, we'll be able to make public statements about process design, mining engineering, the physical aspects of the project, and in the third quarter we should be able to also talk about the financial aspects of the project. In terms of the corporate activity, clearly Zijin and Xanadu need to have a conversation about how to fund the project going forward. So I would hope to, well before delivery of the PFS, we're able to put some colour out into the market on how the project will be funded forward.
Thank you. The last question from me. Geopolitical risk is one of the hottest topics in recent media coverage for ASX exploration companies. So how are both Xanadu and its projects positioned?
I think when you look around the world at various jurisdictions, and even jurisdictions here in Australia, mining projects are becoming more and more difficult to get legal and social license to operate. Mongolia is one of the few places in the world where it's actually getting better. I think the Mongolian government recognise that mining is a huge opportunity for them. It's a great country in terms of prospectivity for future-facing metals, particularly copper. There are large-scale projects there. It's a sparsely populated and largely flat country. So it's very amenable to mining, and it's got a very good infrastructure and located very close to the largest market for these metals in China. So a lot of things going for it. One of the hindrances in Mongolia has been an unclear fiscal regime around mining, and the government have recognised that and are making very positive steps towards improving the competitiveness of Mongolia as a jurisdiction. So as a Xanadu chairman, I'm very pleased that Mongolia is heading in the right direction, and I think it's the Central Asian Fold Belt is one of the places where that will supply the metals the world needs going forward. I think in general it is getting harder, and I think that's fine. Your standards can be high, but you also need a unambiguous, clear route to gaining that legal and social license to operate. And otherwise, it becomes too hard, and the cost of capital gets too high.
Thank you. This is the end of the interview. Thank you so much for taking your time to join us today.
You're welcome, Hannah. Thank you for having me again.
Thank you.